everyone, I am Manali and welcome back to Beyond the Summary. We are diving deeper into Dale Carnegie's timeless classic How to Win Friends and Influence People. And today we are tackling chapter 5, which reveals a truly fascinating and powerful technique. Sometimes in conversations it feels like we are constantly trying to convince someone to prove our point or even just to be right. And often, what happens? We end up in a debate, a disagreement, or at best, a polite stalemate. But what if there was a different way? A way to subtly guide a conversation, to find common ground, and to build agreement almost effortlessly. Well, that's exactly what chapter 5 explores, and it builds around a principle that's thousands of years old, often attributed to the great Greek philosopher himself, Socrates. That's why author calls it the secret of Socrates. So, what's the big secret? It's remarkably simple, yet incredibly effective. Start by getting the other person to say yes. Think about it. When someone says no, even if it's just a quick no to a small point, it's like a little wall goes up. Their entire system, their muscles, their very being often unconsciously prepares for defense. It's much harder to change that initial no into a yes. But if you start with a question that the other person has to agree with, if you lay a foundation of shared understanding and agreement, something magical happens. You're building momentum. You're creating a positive flow. Imagine you're trying to explain a complex idea to someone. Instead of just launching into your grand thesis, you could start with a few simple, undeniable questions. Isn't it true that we all want to be understood? Most people would say yes. And wouldn't you agree that clear communication is essential for that? Another likely yes. So, if we want to improve understanding, we need to focus on how we present our ideas, right? Bingo, another yes. By the time you get to your main point, you have already established several points of agreement. The other person isn't on the defensive. They're already nodding along, feeling like they're part of the solution, part of the discovery. Author really emphasizes that getting someone to say yes right from the beginning changes the whole dynamic. It makes them more receptive to your larger idea, your bigger proposal. It's not about trickery, it's about building rapport and finding common ground before you introduce potentially contentious ideas. This isn't just for big negotiations or sales pitches. Think about your everyday interactions. Want your friend to try a new restaurant? You like Italian, right? And you're looking for something new? Or trying to get your kids to clean their room? You want a nice, clean space to play, don't you? And it's easier to find your toys when everything is put away. The secret of Socrates is about patiently leading the other person through a series of affirmations until they naturally arrive at that conclusion you want them to reach. Or at least, they are far more open to it. It makes them feel like the idea is partly their own, or at least that they have logically arrived at it with you. It's a powerful shift from confrontation to collaboration. Instead of pushing your agenda, you're inviting them to walk with you down a path of shared agreement. So, the next time you find yourself in a conversation where you need to persuade or influence, resist the urge to jump straight to your conclusion. Instead, take a page out of Socrates' book. Start with those yes questions, build that foundation of agreement, and watch how much more smoothly your conversation flow. You might be surprised at how often you achieve your goals, not by forcing, but gently guiding. That's it for chapter 5. Join me next time as we continue our journey through how to win friends and influence people. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share if you are enjoying this series. See you soon.